Well, hello everybody, welcome back to episode 235 of my Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. I'm IVATOPIA, and it is, 200, I think it's 100, it's 200. Okay, we leveled last episode, and now we're going to spend the time this episode going through the village and working out who we can, basically, who's got a dwarf inside them. We know the young girl in their house, but we're bringing feet back. So we've got to go around to everyone in the village. Let's see who's anyone in here. So hopefully we'll have a couple of choices and we can bring someone back who's not a thief or worse, a murderer or something. Okay. Stealing.
I take it you've met Galvino.
Glance at the devil. Karen, her eyes are narrowing. You tell me about Farrell's expedition.
Who? Sorry, I don't recall the name. Last expedition I met disappeared weeks ago. Didn't give any names, but they definitely haven't come back this way. Don't mean the Sfeara weren't part of an expedition, though. We get groups passing by sometimes, looking to try their luck. What's on your mind?
Your awareness settles beneath Regina's skin. You feel yourself looking through her eyes upon a time-faded memory. You're standing in the inn. The room is stifling, but it's the body heat of so many furious villagers, not the neglected fire pit that draws sweat from your pores. Your husband waits by the door, about as far as he can get from the assembly. He holds Uruka, whose cheeks are bright, as he watches the adults bicker with wide, fearful eyes. You never realise how badly your neighbours stank, but something rank and repulsive rises from them as they pack together in this room. How
much did the old snake pay you, Sinahio?
It's Greta, the head fisherman, jabbing a furious finger towards the back of the room. Sunha, your erstwhile mayor, squirms in a corner, pinned by accusing stares of the entire village. Oh, it must be once they had that secret deal, they found out. Stares of the village. Oh, those eyes, they're cruel. Porcelain eyes, and they're watching Sundar with the dumb gluttony of hogs staring at fodder. The only sight that turned your stomach more is Sundar himself, trying to wiggle free of his own lies.
Maestro Galvino and I came to an agreement. It was for the good of Stalwart. I thought...
Did he hit him or something? A lump of bobs in his throat.
You thought you'd let a killer walk among us?
That's what we're doing now, technically. Woman in the middle of the crowd waves her fist. Cries of first agreement rise from the others. What began as a collective grumbling is swelling and congealing like storm cloud. You look back at your husband. He's whispering to Uruka, but when you catch his eye, he directs a silent supplication to you. What? Basically like, come on, go, get out of here. Where Smack draws your attention back to the other end of the room, someone's thrown a potato, and so cringes and rubs his jaw. You want to shout at them, all for this nonsense and waste, but you know this is about to get worse. Solon will have blood, and Galvino and his horror had the sense to flee already. And they're standing right here in the village now. You turn again, and your husband is beckoning you with swift chopping motions. But what stops your breath is Uruka. His little eyes are fixed on the churning mob, and you knew ever since you started hearing about those hideous purges that he'd see something like this one day. But did it have to be so soon? It's what drove that devil woman to madness, and now his little eyes have gotten big enough to swallow the whole scene, and now he's seeing you as part of it. You want to leave now, but if you do, that is what your boy will remember. Cowardice and madness. About people, about Starlet, and about you. The people around you jostle and bark in their rage. They're dangerous animals, but animals nonetheless. They just need to be led. So you push your way to the end of the room, where Sundar trembles in a puddle of his own P-word. Enough! Oh, he said it at the same time as me. Your voice boils up from your throat. The others fall silent, watching you. They listen dumbly trusting as you turn Sundar's destinies into an exile. No one contradicts you when you explain that he's going to march out of this village alone into whatever miserable hamlet will have him. They silently agree when you explain that their hands are too clean for the likes of him. But there's something else forming behind their eyes, a canal of trust and dependence. You feel it curdling around you, casing you like a pearl does sand. You only want to spare Sand's life, not volunteer for his job. But you see so much fear simmering just beneath there. Ow, ow, that hurt. My hand, I scratched back my head and I moved it forward. And I had to hit the headphone by mistake. Ow, that hurt my ear. They only want to spare his life, and a volunteer beneath their expressions. Fear at God men marching through the mountains at Jorwoodens and their purges, dying the slow and lonely death of a ghost town. And you see their grateful reassurance mirrored in Urquhart's expression. Perhaps this place is hopeless, but you realise that you can't leave it any more than you could leave your boy. The only person, who isn't looking at you is your husband. He's shaking his head, his eyes on the door. He's like, "You stupid, what have you done? What have you done?" You retreat from Roker's memory. Vivid though it is, it has nothing to do with Durham's battery.
What's on your mind?
Well, just invade your privacy, that was it. So she's not one. I was kind of hoping she would be, because I feel having responsibilities as being the mayor and stuff, she would take that responsibility because he wants it in the battery anyway. You know. And it'd be something that she would willingly accept. And not be like, "Oh, I forced you." So I've only one candidate. That's someone I really want to bring. But it did say probably 2 or 3 people, so then hopefully there will be a couple more candidates.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
You feel her essence humming and buzzing. Another personality and set of memories lies dormant within her soul, convulsing as if it was fitful sleep. The contours of the domain soul are sharp, ragged. As you reach out for it, it seizes you violently. Oh, this could be a bad one. You're standing in a darkened feast hall. Sturdy tables and benches have been stacked against the door in the far end of the room. You know it won't be enough. A few dozen other dwarfs from your tunneling crew wait with you, shovels and pickaxes in their shaky hands.
Zenove, please. If we go now, we can get behind the barricade. We won't
Well,
do any good here.
He's right, and you hear agreement in the quiet murmur of the others. But Armsward Marrodon ordered you to hold your ground here. Yet in those rising whispers, you hear the opening bars of mutiny. You never tolerated insubordinance from your crew, and you ain't about to start. So you heave your pickaxe and swing it into the man's... Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, we're not awakening this guy. So whether a thief or someone who... Just because someone well, he didn't even disobey orders. He questioned orders. He got an axe to the head. Yeah. If he has any other orders that he didn't accomplish that could affect this village, I think he would do them. He collapses and the others fall silent. The odour of urine rises from his body.
We're gonna go down fighting. Anyone who feels differently can settle it with me right
Your
now.
voice is hoarse from hours of shouting orders. No one else moves. They cast their eyes down in the flickering torchlight. Something thuds against the door. The others raise their weapons, picks, shovels, and a few swords. They don't dare flinch. Your own pulse pounds at your temples. You pull back from Terran's soul, but you feel Zeron's wrath and ferocity tugging at you still. Your essence flashes, lashing out at an unseen enemy. Zeron is powerful, but dangerous too. Fury has echoed her to old and threatening memories. However, seems unaware of any of this, and she blinks back at you cloudily. No. She's a no. So far it's the girl, fudge. With a thief versus a psychopath. Both not brilliant. And actually, technically, someone who's super loyal and a thief who technically was stealing from their own people, so is a traitor. So we have a psychopath who will follow orders no matter what versus a traitor thief. Neither are good, particularly. Nope, that's the place to try to rescue someone.
Feels like it's hardly worth putting the huts back up.
Better than standing out here shivering.
Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, nope. Let's check down here, and then we've got this side of the village to check. There seem to be more in the buildings that seem to actually be the main people, aren't they? But there's still the odd person outside, so... So yeah, two choices aren't brilliant right now. I don't know what's in here. Mind if I do? Barrel and find a bracelet. A thick of aura of essence clings to it. Press with you, feel yourself drawn into it. What? The memory, you stride into the fishery. The floors are swept clean, but the wood is still splotched with snow melt and fish guts. A man hunkers in the corner, his head nodding forward as if in sleep. He looks up drowsily as you approach. It's Grunda. His face, oh, is this place? Is youthful but shallow, and his hair hangs in stringly locks. That's her master, I guess. You feel a pang of anger and pity at your brother's debauchery. This is little more than a croak.
It's past
Your throat
midnight.
feels tight. Wipes at his nose, then examines the mingled blood and powder on the back of his hand. He shrugs. Fingers clench around coarser, thick fabric. Your father's best wool cloak tucked under your arm. Go to... Oh, it's a shame.
Go to raid Ceres or Defiance Bay or fucking Air Glondon.
Oh, because he's
I don't
leaving.
care.
You hurl it at Ingrid hurtled on the floor. You hurl it at the Ingrid hurtled on whatever that means. Bit everything through it. Picks up the cloak and looks at it with the same sort of dull wonder. He wipes his nose on the lining. Sudden rush of fury leaves your limbs weak and raw.
I'll tell them. Mayor Sina here. The neighbors.
Force the words
everyone.
through your teeth. He mumbles, chewing his words from morals of snot and saliva.
The stealing. You think I haven't noticed the money missing from the fishery coffers? Or heard Tana talk about losing a golden duke?
Whisper, afraid even now that someone will overhear you, and the words scorch your throat.
You can't be found when there's work to do. But every time those merchant wagons roll into town, you've got coin enough for a few bags of ripple
Wow.
sponge.
No, it's not.
He blinks back at you. He rubs his red-rimmed eyes. Your own grow warm and blurry. Warm and blurry.
Stalwart tolerates your sponge habit, but they won't abide your thieving.
You touch your bracelet, a gift from Mother, plucking at the beads. Stand on his feet, then you would have thought.
I will.
You strike toward. He's a good killer, is he? I won't have shamed Mother and Father while I was living, but I won't let this keep up. Your anger swallows the last of your pity, anger at him for putting you in this position, for doubting your resolve, for failing to see. You close enough to smell the stale, your breath when he kills her. You fall, watching his widening eyes and the ceiling spinning into your vision. Isn't this just like him? Guard out with his foot. Oh, so he's not the guy, her master, is he? It's the druggy guy. With his full tantrums, never think of anybody but himself, and now you're going to be nursing a headache for a week. Just goes to show you can't help people, but you remember him to... let's start that again. Goes to show you can't help some people. That makes more sense. I missed some else. Some people. But you remember him too, your baby brother, running through the snow, slipping, falling on the ice, and you're slipping, falling, and there's a table behind you, but it shouldn't... Brutal. Yeah, he killed her. Jolting you back into the present with your heart hammering and your palms sweating. You killed her. What's going on? Oh. Fishy door creaks open and it walks Skirden staring at you, and the bracelet in surprise and outrage. His face drains of colour.
You take shelter in our village and then ransack it like a common thief? You better explain yourself.
That's what's coming from the thievery, druggy murderer. His voice shakes as does his wide squared shoulders. Easy, girl. IVATOPIA wouldn't do a thing like that alone. It gives you a reassuring nod. Around, Garrett told me you were a Ripple sponge addict. Seems you're much more than that.
Any who put stock in the ravings of that bitter old fool deserve all the trouble they get.
His face flushes crimson. He raises his voice, half turning into the guard with him. You killed your sister, Aaron, right here in this room. He opens his mouth to reply, but the words catch in his throat. The guard next to him stares at the bracelet, recognition turning to horror.
Worth coming back to this alone.
It was an accident. I was a failure and a wretch then. But I never would have killed anyone.
Turns his gaze down, offering his apology to his own clenched fist. How can you expect me to believe something like that? Of course you say that, anyone in your position would. What? What do you mean? His accident was a fail and a wrench. I never would have killed anyone, least of all my own kin. Yes, she did.
I gave her body to the lake. But I kept her bracelet.
So you killed her?
To remember the cost of my own weakness.
So he just admitted to killing her? He loosens his hands and stares at the Empress in the lifeless palms. He looks from Garrett back to you, wriggling the handle of his weapon.
I ain't asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve any. My penance is my work on behalf of the village. They need it, truly. You've seen the shape this place is in. Have mercy on Stalwart.
He's trying to
not on me.
blackmail me, or... Well, not real blackmail. Use pity. Like, don't punish me, because I'm helping the village.
Let me do the work Arda would have done. That's my debt to Stalwart. And the only fitting way to honor my sister.
Not for you to decide. You owe it to Arda and to Stalwart to tell the truth about her death. Hemi braces are yours. No, you can't get away with this.
Kept thinking I could get by this way. But I guess you're right. It's time they knew the truth about me.
He turns to leave, looking back at the fishery one last time. Says fishery at night, return to Garrod. Oh, so it was night time I did this, huh? Oh, no stealing. There's no one here, so will it let me because there's no one in the room? Logic would say it should. Around 18 minutes, so that's going to end this episode here too. I think, unless something happens when we jump out here in a second, like they're chatting with him or whatever. Let's see. No. Shit, Sarah, so we're going to end here anyway, so hope you enjoyed that. Please like, please subscribe, see you next time. I'm out, but you've been awesome. Thank you for watching. Bye everyone. Have a great one day. Bye.